So it is Monday, which means International Chest Day, which means I'm doing legs. That's what's on the schedule today. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Jay Weezy. Welcome to Jay Weezy's World. Look, come here, man. Oh man, all right. I found out over the weekend. So all the videos that you guys have seen, because you guys tune into all my videos, I appreciate you. Is LA Fitness commercial gym. My point is that I've been going to this gym. I actually used to go to it when it was around the corner, literally a right turn and bam, that was there. They moved to this other spot to make it bigger property. I found out over the weekend it's closing forever. Man, I was so bummed out. I could find another gym. Like, it is what it is. I can go to another location. But I've literally been signed up. I don't know why I keep saying literally. I've been signed up at this gym since 2005. I know some of you guys like 2005. Yeah. I signed up when I was 19. I just turned 40. I know what you're thinking. I don't look 40. I know you're thinking that, right? But I'm 40 years old, and I've been going here, seeing the same people since around, not necessarily around, but like, well, especially like some of the, what I think about is like the older folks that are there that I've known since my early 20s, that were old then, that are old now, and going there daily just as a part of their routine. And some of them might be able to pick up and go, but some of them may not be able to. A lot of the kids in the area that, hit the gym just to kind of, get off the streets, not to be cliche, but it's true. Go in there, play basketball, and, it's just a bit of a bummer. Like, I'm good, but it's a bit of a trip too. And I asked them, of course, why are they closing? Of course, they're not going to give me any detail. I was just being nosy. So, I don't deserve the, the details as far as the whys. So, quite honestly, the only other LA Fitness that's in this area, there's one other. That means all of them are going to be packed. That one's going to be packed. And I don't know the layout. Well, no, I'm lying. I've been there a few times for sure. But what I mean is, I know it's going to be crazy. I don't know what it looks like on evening, because I usually go there on the weekends if I do go, or the early morning. So I just said, forget it. I went ahead and just canceled my membership. It's good through the end of next month, which it's going to be closed by the middle of next month. So I'll be able to go to the other location for a week or two. But yeah, a bit of a trip. So I'm going to find a whole new gym. So that'll be interesting. I haven't had to look for a new gym in 20 years. That's a trip. But it's leg day. So let's go ahead and hit these legs, and I'll talk to you guys after the fact. All right, let's chop up these tree trunks, and I'm going to take you guys through my leg workout today. I wanted to shoot at this angle to kind of give you guys some perspective and my kind of logic as I'm working through this leg press workout to get things started off with. So first of all, I'm going to do a couple warm-up sets, and I think that there is a little bit of opportunity to unpack what I mean by warm-up. And I think what most people mean by warm-up is it's not necessarily just getting loose, right? You can stretch, you can do all kinds of things to get loose, but really what I'm trying to do is prime my muscle to get set for the heavier weight that I'm going to be lifting, right? And so if I'm doing biceps, triceps, whatever it is, the warm-up is to prime your muscle to get set to lift heavier weight. So what I'm going to do is a pyramid warm-up here. So I'm going to start off with 2 plates, and then do a set of 20, move to 3 plates, do a set of 20, so on and so forth. And I want to get some higher reps, again, to pump some blood into my quads and to my hamstrings, because, again, I'm going to do a couple of variations as far as my foot placement once I get into my work-in sets. But, this is one thing I took away from a program I did a while back for Chris Gethin and I really enjoyed, is kind of a higher rep range when it comes to both my warm up sets, but also work in sets. So, being the fact that my knee is kind of still in the mend, still getting in recovery, feels good. I really wanted to kind of test and see where my strength was a little bit, but get back into the higher rep range leg movements so that way I could really just beat up my quads, beat up my hamstrings, and really chop these tree trunks. So with these warm up sets and my first working set, I'm doing a neutral stance on the on the platform. Of course, I didn't wear my leg day shoes. It is what it is. But I'm doing a standard placement, which is basically shoulder width apart. This placement is going to work out both your quads and your hamstrings and kind of an overall feel, right? Focusing on kind of the both front and back of the leg. Now, my intentions aren't to just pump the leg press out. What I'm trying to do is again just pump some blood into the muscle. I'm not just trying to sling around the weight. So that's why you'll see me kind of pause here and there to kind of control the weight and make sure that I understand that um, you know my body can handle what is being pushed upon me and not just slinging it back and forth. These Nikes that I have on, I really like them. If you're a bigger person that's out there, again, they're not just for big folks, but these, was it Veramos or Nike Veramos? I think it was Veramos. I think they're called 5. So definitely been my kind of go-to in the gym as of recent because they have a wide base, nice, sturdy. They feel comfortable, and I just like all black shoes when I'm in the gym because we are killing it and we are at a funeral, so you wear black, which is why I wear black all the time, right? So again, standard placement. And what I'm doing here is again, kind of just prep myself to get in. And I believe right now I have my work-in weight, so I have 6 plates on each side. What I did is the 2 plates, then the 3 plates each side, then 4 plates, and then I jumped up to 6 to have my work-in set. And when I got into this first work-in set, I'm thinking, do I move up? But I felt the weight felt good. My goal was a range of about 8 to 10 repetitions. Eventually, at some point, that rep range is going to increase, and so I wanted to stick with these 6 plates per side for this. But what I'm going to do, as you'll see, is I'm going to move from the standard placement to now a wider stance so I can work on the inner part of my quad sweep. If I'm not a trainer or anything like that, but obviously I've learned from some folks on, just the importance of the foot placement from standard to wide to more narrow. People assume the wider stance is going to work the outside of the quad. It's actually going to work in the inside of the quad as well as the hamstrings. And so I want to, as I move forward with the leg press, is switch up the stance. And I think if you're somebody who is maybe, lacking on the inner and outer, you might set your session might just be close or it might be, the wide stance. So now I'm switching up again to a closer stance, bringing it down to my stomach. And it looks like I might have a shorter rep range, but that's not rep range, but a range of motion. I am a short dude, short kings live, you know what I mean? And so my range of motion is a bit shorter, but trust me, I am going down to my stomach and then pumping it back up. And I believe I got about 7 or 8 reps here. If I'm going to be totally honest with you, I wasn't necessarily satisfied that I didn't get to 10, but legs are kind of cooked. So now I'm going to go ahead and switch things up and work on these hamstrings with a stiff leg, stiff leg, not deadlifts, but still, why am stiff leg, I guess deadlifts. I'll just say stiff leg. I don't know why I'm having a brain fart. It's one of them nights. So doing a quick warm up again, just to kind of, really, it's not even more so trying to warm up. It's more so because I haven't done this movement in a while, right? Usually I'll do seated hamstring curls or, do it with dumbbells. I just really want to kind of get my range of motion and kind of feel how the weight was. So I have a 25 on each side with the 45-pound bar. And then my goal was to get it just below the knees. And what you're doing is you're hinging your hips. So I'm not just bending down with my back and pulling up with my back. What I'm doing is I'm pushing my butt back and then I'm pushing my butt forward, almost like a thrusting motion to really focus on my hamstrings. And so getting in a couple warm-up sets, what I'll end up doing here is actually adjusting the camera when I get into my work-in sets. I'm only going to show you guys one warm-up because I felt like the angle wasn't the best. I don't want you guys, you know, all up in the midsection right there. So I'm going to switch it up here for you guys in just a second. So there we go, better view here. And I'm using the lifting straps not because I couldn't hold the weight's fine, but I really didn't want to focus on my grip. I just wanted to hold the weight and just have all the control into my hamstrings. And I'm telling you, like, I was loving getting back into these today. Like my legs, even like this is the second movement I'm doing, and I was sweating like a baby. I just panting like a baby, and I was sweating like my headband was crazy dripping. Is because getting started off with that leg press and really putting some pressure on my quads. I felt like made a big impact on just the intensity of the workout itself. So I'm doing 3 work-in sets of 10. Again, going just below the kneecap and then pulling back up with my hips to really focus on those glutes and hamstrings. Good, you guys can see, just pumping it out. And this platform, I did have my shoes off, so I took off the Nikes and I just went barefoot or with my socks on for these work-in sets. So moving over to hack squats, I got in 3 sets of 10 here, and I only have a 45 on each side because honestly my quads were starting to feel, or legs are starting to feel cooked a little bit, and as the youngins say. And so I have a standard stance on this, and now keep in mind, yes, it's a 45 on each side, but keep in mind I'm also 300 pounds, and so I also have my own weight coming down on that. So I think that's one thing that people kind of take for granted is, your own weight. So you kind of put your ego into it and you start throwing on, 2 and 3 plates and, settle down, but again, like cooks, like chef's kiss as far as the quads are going. But I do have one thing to point out is I do have my feet a little bit higher on the platform versus lower because again, I wanted it to be, kind of focus on the hamstring still a little bit. So it's not far up on the plate, or the platform. So I wanted to focus in on the hamstrings, this workout because I feel like I put a lot of work on those quads in that initial movement. So go ahead and pump this out. And again, I felt really good. And I know cardio, I was thinking maybe cardio is going to suck, but yeah, you got to do it. So sweating. And this is going to be the last movement, which is going to be obviously the hamstring curls. And I increased the weight here. Nothing crazy. I think it was about 120, if I'm correct on that. And then I'm going to get in a couple sets of this and really, again, cook up those hamstrings. And even today, I recorded this 2 days ago, and my hamstrings and my quads feel crazy right now. And so I'm just trying to stretch and keep things light and make sure that I just stay loose as much as I can because I do work a desk job, so I try to get in the steps, walk around, and one thing that I've always been a fan of is especially after a leg day is to make sure you get in your steps, get in your cardio because it's only going to make things better and not stiffen up, prevent injury next time you do the legs. So that's my take on it, but I really wanted to show you guys some details as far as the leg press and the benefits you can get out of the different feet placement on the platform. So don't be scared to try something out. And if it hurts, it's probably because it's something where you need to work on and focus. So this is the last movement, knocking out these curls, cranking it out. I'll see you guys back in the car in just a moment.
All right, post-workout session. Let me turn this down. You know what I just thought about? Is it's starting to get cold here, well, cold for Phoenix, but when it starts to get really chilled is the mornings and late nights, specifically the mornings, when your window starts to fog up from your body heat because it's chilled outside, but all that heat coming from the inside. If you know, you know. So, no, I'm not telling ghost stories. I know I'm underneath the light. I got that post-workout drag a little bit. That leg workout was fire. I wanted to switch it up and hit a couple different movements that you guys saw. I don't even know if the angles and everything look good, so hopefully I can even put the video up. My whole thought process that I'm sure I'm going to mention in the voiceover is I wanted to show feet placement and kind of just a different perspective, but foot placement, feet placement, foot placement around, you know, what it works out, the inner sweep of the thigh or the quad, the outer sweep of the quad. Are you hitting more hamstring? Are you hitting more quad? You know, things like that. Because if you're somebody, I'm not a bodybuilder at all, obviously, but I'm definitely cognizant in wanting to learn and pick up things from other people. And I think that just certain days I want to hit the outer sweep of the quad more, and certain days I want to hit the inner, and some days I just want to go neutral. So that was my thought process. I don't even know how the angles look, so hopefully I can even put the video up. I actually have a few new ideas for the channel that I'm going to be posting as far as a different type of video. I'm still working out, but just a little bit of a switch. So we'll see if that's going to work out. Right now it's just an idea. I got to put it into reality. So look at the windows are fogging up right now. So workout was good. I'm tired. I'm headed home. Meal prep yesterday. I didn't put a meal prep video up this week. Let me know if you guys like the meal prep videos. You know, I want to make sure you guys are enjoying that stuff. And I know sometimes people might think it's silly. Hey, just post it. Why are you asking for feedback? Well, you guys are the ones watching the videos, which I truly appreciate. So I'm going to turn these lights off because I know people are going to be looking at me crazy. And it's an urban myth. No, it's not illegal to have your lights on as you're driving. But I'm tired. I'm gonna stop by the store really quick, go home, warm up some of this roast beef and quinoa and veggies. And you guys have a good night. I appreciate you checking out the video. Oh, please like, comment, subscribe. We're on the road to 200. I appreciate you. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Boop.